Hi friends, welcome back to the channel Engineering Mathematics for GATE exam. In this video, I will tell you one leftover topic in matrices, that is Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay, I will explain you what is Cayley-Hamilton theorem and what is its application while solving the numericals and matrices, and after that we will see some numerical questions on Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay, before proceeding to that, in continuation with my previous videos, I am going to show you some previously GATE exam questions, that is practice questions on linear algebra. Okay. Before proceeding to that also, I want to tell you one important thing. Okay, if you sit in the GATE examination, in your paper there will be three parts. One is engineering mathematics for 15 marks, and another one is general aptitude for 15 marks, and your core subject will have 70 marks. Okay, so three parts will have some easy questions, some average questions, and some tougher questions. But what I suggest you, if you prepare very well, then you can score maximum marks, that too with speed, in general aptitude and engineering mathematics. Try to score full marks and that too with speed. Okay, by following these three steps. I am going to tell you three steps. Okay, how to prepare and how to apply. Okay, so see, if you started preparing engineering mathematics, okay, first let us take, if you are preparing matrices. Okay, first in the step 1, try to read everything related to matrices. Everything, try to read and understand everything, that is what is matrices, what is meant by orthogonal matrix, what is meant by symmetric matrix, what is meant by skew symmetric matrix, what is meant by idempotent matrix, what is meant by diagonal matrix, what is meant by scalar matrix, what is meant by upper triangle, lower triangular matrices, like that. Okay, and what is meant by eigenvalues, what is meant by eigenvectors, what are the properties of eigenvalues, what are the properties of eigenvectors, what are the properties of matrices, what is meant by matrix multiplication is distributive, what is meant by matrix multiplication is not always commutative means. Okay, and what is meant by rank of the matrix, what are the properties of rank of the matrix, how to solve, what are the possible solutions if the system of linear equations are in the form of Ax is equal to 0, and what are the possible solutions if the system of linear equations are in the form of Ax is equal to b. Like that, you have to read everything. Okay, and understand everything, properties and definitions, everything. First you have to clear with concepts, basic concepts. So that is the step 1. In step 2, start solving the numerical questions on matrices. Step by step procedure, try to solve first. Okay, that means inverse of the matrix, try to calculate inverse of the matrix step by step, transpose of the matrix and determinant of the matrix, and eigenvalues, eigenvectors, and rank of the matrix, and what are the possible solutions for a system of linear equations in the form of Ax is equal to 0, system of equations are in the form of Ax is equal to b, by reducing the matrix into echelon form. Okay, these things step by step first try to solve. Okay, this is the step 2. Okay, in the step 3, that is the most important step, while practicing, start practicing. If you clear with step 1, step 2, in the step 3 try to start practice questions. So while doing practice questions, try to apply the basic concepts you have studied in the step 1, and best possible way to solve the questions, numerical questions, based on the your knowledge in the step 2. Okay, if you take any question, you may solve the questions in 2-3 different ways, but you have to try to apply the best fast possible way to solve the questions by in your knowledge from the step 1 and step 2. See, I will see one example. In the previous video, I have told you this question, that is the value of the determinant given below is, okay, it is given 4x4 matrix and asked to find the determinant value. Okay, so if you go normal procedure, how do you solve this determinant for this 4x4 matrix? You will take one row or column, okay, and you will multiply these elements with corresponding 3x3 matrix determinants. Okay, each element with corresponding 3x3 value determinants. So you have to find the submatrix determinant value, okay, and you have to multiply that with this element, like that you have to calculate. Okay, that will take time consuming, but see here in this question, even I didn't show you any steps. I have done mind calculations because of knowledge. Okay, as I said in the step 1, step 2. See, from the step 1, what I understood is, if this 4 by 4 matrix, if I am able to reduce this into upper triangular, lower triangular matrix. In my previously uploaded video, I have told you that for any upper triangle, lower triangle, scalar, diagonal matrices, okay, directly the product of the diagonal elements is nothing but the product of the eigenvalues. Product of eigenvalues means what? Determinant. So directly determinant is nothing but product of diagonal elements in case of upper triangle, lower triangle, diagonal matrix, scalar matrix. Okay, so if I reduce this into upper triangle, lower triangle matrix, then I can directly multiply these elements. That will be the determinant. Okay, so I got the idea from that knowledge from step 1. And from step 2, okay, I have solved so many questions while doing rank of the matrix and system of linear equations, solving the possible solution. In these cases, I have applied rows operations in order to make the matrices into upper triangle, lower triangle matrix. So from that knowledge, if I do row operations, I can make this elements is 0 easily by subtracting it from R1. So I have done that. I have done R4, R3, R2 operations and subtract these from R1. I directly got the upper triangular matrix. Directly I got. So no need to put pen on this paper. Directly we are getting. And if we subtract these elements, we are getting diagonal elements 1, A minus B, C. So directly 1 into A into minus B, C, that is minus A, B, C, the answer. So that's what I want to say you. This is for example purpose I said. Okay, normally if you go, you have to multiply this corresponding row or column elements with respective submatrix determinant. That is the way. Okay, but because of knowledge from those 2 steps, okay, directly I have calculated easily, faster manner. This is what I want to say. Okay, follow these 3 steps. Okay, then you will get the confidence and you can solve any questions with faster pace. Not only this, if you observe in one question, I told you that in one question that A into some matrix is given, that is equal to another matrix is given. There also, if you observe the question carefully, that R3, R2 rows are interchanged only. Okay, you have to get the idea. If the 2 rows are same, then B is equal, that 2 matrices will be same. So if you multiply some matrix with another matrix, you will get the one of those matrices mean another matrix will be directly identity matrix. Okay, if you know the basic concepts, that's why you will get the idea directly. Okay, so directly you will take that as identity matrix, and because of those R2, R3 are interchanged, so interchange those identity matrix R2, R3. That is it. So follow those 3 steps while preparing every chapter in the engineering mathematics. Okay, for probability, for differential equation, for calculus, vector calculus, numerical methods. While preparing every chapter in engineering mathematics, please follow those 3 steps so that you can score maximum marks with faster pace, so that you can save time for your core subject questions. Okay, now look at the questions. Question number 1. The maximum value of the determinant among all 2 by 2 real symmetric matrices with trace value 14 is. It is a subjective question, not objective question. Okay, dash is given. So it is look like tougher, but you can solve if you have the basic concept clear. Okay, now look at the question carefully once again. The maximum value of the determinant is asked for among all the 2 by 2 real symmetric matrices with trace value 14. So matrix is not given, that is also have to form. So try to form the matrix with the given data. So observe the question carefully. We have to observe the data from the question itself. So look at the question. Determinant among all 2 by 2 real symmetric matrices. That means the matrix will be 2 by 2. Okay, the real symmetric matrices with trace value 14. So 2 by 2 matrix means trace value is given 14, so sum of the diagonal elements is 14. So there will be two diagonal elements. So if you take one as x, then other one will be 14 minus x. Okay, so diagonal elements we framed. Now look at the question. Real symmetric matrix. It is mentioned that the matrix is symmetric. Symmetric matrix means A is equal to A transpose. Okay, what is A transpose? We have to fix diagonal elements and we have to interchange remaining two elements, and that must be equal to A itself. So it is a 2 by 2 matrix. If you fix x, 14 minus x, then after interchanging also we need to get the same matrix. That means these two elements must be same. Okay, so take these two elements as y, y. Okay, now look at maximum value of the determinant is asked. So the determinant for this matrix is determinant of A is equal to x into 14 minus x minus y square. Okay, now it is asked to find the maximum value of the determinant. So if you observe the equation carefully, for any value of y, okay, because of its square nature, total quantity will become positive. Okay, so if you subtract something from this, some positive quantity, so total value will always reduced because of its y is in square nature. So in order to get the maximum value, y must be 0, because if you take minus values or plus values, the total will become positive value. Okay, if you subtract something, some positive value from this, then total value will be reduced. So only maximum value possible if y is equal to 0. I hope you got the point. Okay, now the matrix will be A is equal to x 0 0 14 minus x. Okay, now determinant of this matrix is x into 14 minus x. That will be 14x minus x square. Okay, let us take this as function f of x. Okay, here it is asked to find the maximum value of the determinant. So to solve this question, you need to have the knowledge of calculus as well. Okay, how to find the maximum minimum value for a given function. Okay, this is the way it asked in the questions. In previously updated video also have shown some questions. Those can be solved only if you have the knowledge of matrices as well as vectors. Okay, so in this case you can solve this question if you have the knowledge of both matrices as well as calculus. Okay, now to find the maximum value of a function, first we have to differentiate with respect to x and equate it to 0, and first we have to find the value of x, and after that we have to again double differentiate the function, and at that x value, if function is less than 0, that means if it is negative value, then we can get the maximum. Okay, at that x value. Now look at, do that first. So differentiate the function f of x, f with respect to x. So 14x, that become 14 minus x square became 2x. So 14 minus 2x. So to get the maximum value, we have to equate this to 0. Okay, so 14 minus 2x is equal to 0. That means x is equal to 7. Okay, now in order to find whether it is maximum or minimum, double differentiate this. That means differentiate again this with respect to x. So 14, this is a constant, so this became 0. So 2x became minus 2. So it is less than 0. So at x is equal to 7, we get f of x will be maximum. So substitute x value in the determinant, that is the maximum value. Okay, at x is equal to 7. So determinant of A is equal to 7 into 14 minus 7. So 14 minus 7 becomes 7. 7 into 7 is 49. So that is the answer, 49. Okay, now look at the question number 2. Which one of the following statement is true for all real symmetric matrices? Okay, this is a standard question. For all real symmetric matrices, let us see the options. Which of the following statement is true? So we have to find the true statement among the options. So look at the option number 1. All the eigenvalues are real. This is correct. This point is covered in my previously uploaded video, that is properties of eigenvalues. Okay, in that I have mentioned that for all real symmetric matrices, the eigenvalues are always real. Okay, now look at the point 2. All the eigenvalues are positive. No, that is wrong. Let us see. Suppose let us take a matrix A with elements -1, 0, 0, -3. So it is a diagonal matrix. So directly the eigenvalues are diagonal elements. So eigenvalues are -1, -3. Here these two eigenvalues are not positive, negative in nature. So option B is wrong. All the eigenvalues are positive. That is wrong, because here let us see. Here we got -1, -3 negative values. Okay, so option B is wrong. Now look at the option C. All the eigenvalues are distinct. No, see, these two are not same, different, -1, -3. So option C also wrong. Sum of eigenvalues is 0. So find the sum. -1, -3. Sum is -4, which is not equal to 0. So option D is also eliminated. So option A is correct. Now look at question number 3. Which one of the following statement is not true for a square matrix A? Okay, it is asked to find the not true, means false statements among the options. So look at the option A. If A is a upper triangular matrix, the eigenvalues of A are the diagonal elements of it. Yeah, this is covered in properties in my previously uploaded videos, properties of matrices, and as well as in numericals also we got this point. Okay, for A is an upper triangular matrix, the eigenvalues are the diagonal elements of it. Okay, next, if A is a real geometric and the eigenvalues of A are always real and positive. Don't get confused. If you are watching this real, you may thought that the statement is correct, but look at in the statement it is also given positive. See, in the previous question, okay, I have shown you that I have taken that example -1, 0, 0, -3. In that case, the values are eigenvalues are -1, -3, so not positive. So this option is wrong directly. Okay, so option B is correct. This is the false, not true statement. Okay, now just to look at the other options. Okay, if A is a real, the eigenvalues of A and A transpose are always same. Yes, the eigenvalues of A and A transpose are always same, because see, in transpose what we are doing, diagonal elements are same, we are interchanging the remaining corresponding elements. So sum of the eigenvalues is equal to sum of the diagonal elements. That point is correct. Okay, and product of the eigenvalues is equal to determinant of the matrix. So for A transpose also, determinant will be same, A and A transpose. Okay, so eigenvalues are same. This is basically the standard theorem. Okay, so this correct. If all the principal minors of A are positive, all the eigenvalues of A are also positive. This is also standard theorem. Okay, this is also true. All the principal minors of A are positive. If all the principal minors of A is positive, then eigenvalues of A are also positive. This is also standard theorem. Okay, this is also correct. Now look at the question number 4. The eigenvalues of a skew symmetric matrix. Here, what about the eigenvalues of skew symmetric matrix? It is asked. In case of symmetric matrix, the eigenvalues are always real only. Don't put positive those things. Leave everything. Only in case of symmetric matrix, all the eigenvalues are real. In case of skew symmetric matrix, all the eigenvalues are either 0 or purely imaginary. Either 0 or purely imaginary. Okay. Now look at the question number 5. If A is a real square matrix, then A into A transpose is. Look at the options. Unsymmetric, always symmetric, skew symmetric, sometimes symmetric. So in order to know symmetric, skew symmetric things, we had to transpose this. Take this as a one A into A transpose, and try to make transpose of whole transpose, and let us see what we are going to get. Consider A into A transpose whole transpose is equal to A transpose whole transpose into A transpose. Since AB transpose, from the properties of transpose, AB transpose is equal to B transpose into A transpose. Okay, first B transpose and then multiply that with A transpose. So A into A transpose whole transpose is equal to A transpose whole transpose into A transpose. Okay, so A transpose whole transpose is nothing but A. Okay, again if you are once you are interchanging the elements above and below the diagonal elements, and again if you transpose it, then the elements will be restored and that will become A. Okay, and A transpose. So we got A into A transpose, whole transpose is equal to A into A transpose. That means it is always symmetric. Now look at question number 6. The equation 2 minus 2 1 minus 1 x1 x2 that is equal to 0 0 has. So it is already given, it is a form of Ax is equal to 0. Okay, so for Ax is equal to 0 there are two possible solutions. One is if rank of this 2 by 2 matrix is equal to number of variables, that is there are two number of variables. So if rank is 2 and that is equal to number of variables, then we can say that this equation has unique solution. Okay, and in case if rank of A is less than the number of variables, that means rank is 1 and if these variables are 2, so if rank is 1 then that is equal to less than number of variables. So in that case infinite number of solutions are possible. Okay, so let us see what we are going to get. Okay, if a system of equations in the form of Ax equal to 0, I told you. Okay, so for this matrix let us find the determinant value, because it is a 2 by 2 matrix. Directly take determinant, it is very easy. So 2 into minus 1 minus 2 and 1 into minus 2 minus of minus 2, so plus 2. So minus 2 plus 2 0. So it is a singular matrix, so determinant value is equal to 0. So rank will be less than 2. Here sub matrix is not possible, so directly rank is 1. So rank is 1 and number of variables are 2. So the system of equations have infinite number of solutions. Look at the options. No solution. Option A, no solution. Option B, only one solution. Option C, non-zero, unique solution. Option D, multiple solution. So approximate answer, multiple solution. Infinite number of solutions are there. So approximate value option is D. So option D is correct. Now look at the question number 7. For a matrix M, 2 by 2 matrix is given with elements 3 by 5, 4 by 5, x 3 by 5. The transpose of the matrix is equal to the inverse of the matrix, that is M transpose is equal to M inverse. The value of x is given by. So in the question it is mentioned that the matrix is M transpose is equal to M inverse. That means the matrix is orthogonal matrix. Okay, if you find in any question the matrix is orthogonal, in your mind you have to strike three important points regarding orthogonal matrix. That is, point 1 is M transpose of that matrix is equal to inverse of that matrix itself. Okay, and next point is determinant for that orthogonal matrix is 1, and third point is orthogonal matrix with its transpose of that matrix is equal to identity matrix. Okay, you have to strike in your mind these 3 points. So from the point 1, the question in the question given the M transpose is equal to M inverse, so matrix is orthogonal. So look at the point 2, determinant is equal to 1. So find the determinant value and make it is equal to 1. Then directly we will get the x value. Do that. So 3 by 5 into 3 by 5 minus x into 4 by 5 is equal to, because it is an orthogonal matrix, determinant value is equal to 1. So 3 by 5 into 3 by 5 is equal to, take this minus x into 4 by 5 this side, so 1 plus x into 4 by 5. So 3 by 5 into 3 by 5 is equal to 4x plus 5 divided by 5. So strike off 1 5 both sides. So 9 by 5 is equal to 5 plus 4x. So 9 is equal to 5 into 5 plus 4x. So 9 is equal to 25 plus 20x. So 20x is equal to minus 16. So x is equal to minus 16 by 20, that is equal to minus 4 by 5. That is the answer. Look at the options given. A option is given as 4 by 5, not correct. Option B minus 3 by 5, not correct. Option C 3 by 5, not correct. Option D minus 4 by 5. So option D is correct. Okay. Now look at the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Cayley-Hamilton theorem says that every square matrix satisfies the its own characteristic equation. Let us see again. Every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Look at the statement carefully. It is mentioned that every square matrix. Friends, note this point. Cayley-Hamilton theorem is applicable only for square matrix. Okay. So to understand this more, let us see one example. Let A is the matrix A is equal to 2 by 2 matrix 1 0 0 1. Okay. For any matrix, the characteristic equation is determinant of A minus lambda E is equal to 0. Okay. So put the matrix A here 1 0 0 1, and lambda is a variable that with into unit matrix 1 0 0 1. That means lambda I become lambda 0 0 lambda. Okay, and subtract these two. So 1 minus lambda 0 0 1 minus lambda. So determinant of this value is equal to 0. That means 1 minus lambda into 1 minus lambda whole square minus 0 into 0, that is equal to 0. Okay. Now expand this. This is in the form of a minus b whole square. So a square plus b square minus 2ab. So lambda square plus 1 square minus 2 into lambda into 1, that is equal to 0. Okay. Now according to the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. So characteristic equation is lambda square plus 1 minus 2 lambda is equal to 0. So as per Cayley-Hamilton theorem, lambda is equal to a. Replace lambda with a, because every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. So that became a square plus here 1 into unit matrix A, because here it is in the form of matrix we are writing. Okay. So a square plus 1 into unit matrix I minus 2 into a, because it is 2 lambda, so 2a is equal to 0. So that is the Cayley-Hamilton theorem means. Okay. Every characteristic equation satisfy every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Okay. Now the application of Cayley-Hamilton theorem is to find the inverse of the matrix. You can find matrix A inverse, matrix A inverse you can find easily using Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Let us see how. See, this is the characteristic equation you got. Now multiply A inverse both sides. So A inverse into A square plus I minus 2A is equal to A inverse into 0, so 0. Now multiply A inverse with these elements. So A inverse into A square, A inverse into I, A inverse, minus 2 into A inverse, that is minus 2 into I, that is equal to 0. So that will become A inverse is equal to 2I minus A. This is the way to find the A inverse using Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay. I hope you understand. If you have any queries, please ask questions in comment section. Okay. Now look at the questions based on Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Look at question number 8. If matrix A is given minus 3, 2, minus 1, 0, then A satisfy the relation. It is asked to find the which relation A satisfied, and look at the options given. A plus 3i minus 2a inverse. Option B, A square plus 2i plus 2a is equal to 0. Option C, A plus I into A plus 2i is equal to 0. Option D, E power A is equal to 0. If you look into the options carefully, it is in the form of characteristic equation after applying Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay. If you see the example, if you remember, so we had to find the characteristic equation and we have to apply Cayley-Hamilton theorem, then we have to find the relation, what relation A satisfy. Okay, so characteristic equation is A minus lambda is equal to 0. So A minus matrix A minus lambda is nothing but lambda 0 0 lambda. So minus 3 minus lambda 2 minus 1 0 minus lambda is equal to 0. That is determinant of this matrix is equal to 0. So multiply minus lambda into minus 3 minus lambda. So if you bring lambda out, minus outside, and if you multiply, so minus minus will cancel. So lambda into 3 plus lambda minus 1 into 2. Already minus is there, again minus 1 into 2. So plus 2 is equal to 0. Expand this. 3 lambda plus lambda square plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. Now from Cayley-Hamilton theorem, replace lambda with A. Okay. So 3a plus A square plus 2 into unit matrix, because we are writing this in the matrix form, so constant with we have to multiply with unit matrix. Okay, 2i is equal to 0. Okay, now in order to simplify this, A square and write 3a as 2a plus 2i is equal to 0. Okay, and see, from these first two terms, bring outside the factor a. So a into a plus 2i, okay, plus a plus 2i. So again bring out this a plus 2i outside. So a plus 2i into a here remaining, and here nothing is remaining, that means I. So a plus 2i into a plus I, that is equal to 0. Look at the options given. Option A plus 3i minus 2 plus 2a inverse is equal to 0. Option A is wrong. A square plus 2a plus 2i. Option B is wrong. Option C, a plus I into a plus 2i. See, here we got a plus I into a plus 2i. So option C is correct. Now look at the question number 9. The characteristic equation of a 3 by 3 matrix P is defined as. So characteristic equation is given, that is alpha lambda is equal to lambda I minus P, that is characteristic equation, determinant of lambda I minus P, that is equal to lambda cube plus 2 lambda plus lambda square plus 1 is equal to 0. So clearly here characteristic equation is given, and if I denotes the identity matrix, then the inverse of a matrix P will be C. Here it is asked to find the inverse of the matrix. Here already given characteristic equation. Okay, so by applying Cayley-Hamilton theorem, replace lambda with matrix P. So characteristic equation will become P cube plus 2P, P cube plus 2P plus P square plus 1. 1 is nothing but, because we are writing it is in the matrix form, 1 into I unit matrix, that is equal to 0. Okay. So while explaining you Cayley-Hamilton theorem, I have told you how to find the inverse. That is multiply A inverse on both sides. So A inverse into, that is P inverse into, here it is P. So P inverse into P cube plus 2P plus P square plus I is equal to P inverse into 0. So multiply P inverse with this. So P inverse into P cube, that is P square, plus P inverse into 2P, that is 2I plus 2I. The next P inverse into P square, that is P. P inverse into I, P inverse, that is equal to 0. Okay, so P inverse is equal to minus P square minus P minus 2I. Okay, that is the P inverse. Okay, so P inverse is equal to minus of P square plus P plus 2I. Okay, now look at the given options. Option A, P square plus P plus 2I. No, it is minus of P square plus P plus 2I. So option A is wrong. Option B, P square plus P plus I. No, wrong. Option C, minus P square plus P plus I. Look at P square plus P. No, here 2I, it is given I. So option C is wrong. Option D, minus P square plus P plus 2I. See, P square plus P plus 2I. So option D is